Hello, students. Good morning. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Let me increase the volume of my computer. Yeah, like this. Okay, so today is the third meeting or second meeting. I count it as the second meeting of our subject, structure 3. Last week was the introduction, telling you about the description of the subject, and also we discussed about the course contract last week. Today we should be talking about this subtopic, constructing correct sentences, which includes A, B, C up to G, identifying sentence elements, using concords correctly, using punctuation correctly, using conjunction correctly, identifying grammatical rules or mistakes, correcting grammatical mistakes, constructing correct sentences. If you remember last week, is it last week or last 2 weeks, I gave you an exercise. Yeah, this one, to write free English composition around 1 page, or more or less 1 page, at least 1 page, I said. I already read almost all students' composition submitted to me. Some were good. What I call good, the ones written using their own ideas and opinions. Okay, even though the sentences are full of mistakes. Okay, we can understand that you are still learning English. You are just semester 3, and it is normal if you have mistakes. Okay, but there are also some students whose writings are very, very good. Okay, I nearly found no mistakes at all, no errors at all. That is because they copied materials from the internet. Okay, and that is not quite good. Okay, because my purpose of asking you to write this free composition was actually for me to know your real needs. Okay, your real needs, so that I can help you during our class discussions in this semester to explain which aspects, which parts of the English grammar that you still have problems. Then if you just copy materials from the internet, then how can I know your real needs? I call them those students who are still having mistakes, errors, not really understanding how to write good sentences as their real needs. Yeah. Okay. Instead of saying their problems, okay, you need to be helped how to, in this case, for example, how to identify sentence elements, how to identify grammatical rules using conjunctions correctly, and so on. Okay. At the end of the class today, we will discuss one of your friends' composition in order to see together how they constructed sentences and which parts in the sentences still need corrections and so on. Okay. Now let us go to the material. Yeah, for today, constructing correct sentences. Okay. Because you are English students, English study program students, who are expected to know more about rules of English or grammar of English than those who are not English study program students, then we have to seriously look at the structure, okay, or the rules of English, okay, more seriously than those others. Okay. They don't have to care so much about correctness of their statement or their sentences, but we are English students, English lecturers. We have to be more serious on looking at the correctness of our sentences. Okay. Leader by leader, step by step. Okay. Don't imagine that when you start studying at the English study program, then you automatically have very good English. It's very normal if you learn slowly. You need at least 4 years studying English to really understand how to construct English sentences. Okay. Now, that is why we start again. This is structure 3. We have to start again looking at basic elements of the sentences. Okay, because students, even when they are about to write or when they are in the process of writing their final research for their graduate level, they still find a lot of mistakes, a lot of problems writing good sentences. Okay. Now, we are talking about elements of sentence construction, subject and predicate. Okay, subject and predicate. Parts of speech have specific tasks to perform when they are put together in a sentence. Parts of speech itu adalah jenis kata dalam bahasa Inggris. Ada nouns, ada verbs, ada adjectives, adverbs, and so on. Parts of speech. Jadi setiap jenis kata dalam bahasa Inggris memiliki tugas untuk dijalankan ketika mereka elemen itu ditaruh dalam satu kalimat. A noun or a pronoun, as an example, functions as the sentence subject when it is paired with a verb functioning as the sentence predicate. Okay. We call a noun or a pronoun as a subject if it is paired with a verb as predicate. Saya ulangi dalam bahasa Indonesia. Sebuah noun atau pronoun, kata benda atau kata ganti bisa dikatakan subjek apabila dipasangkan dengan predikat. Baru disebut subjek. Kalau dia hanya sendiri-sendiri, dia belum tentu sebagai subjek. Kalau dipasangkan dengan predikat, baru kita sebut dia subjek. Karena elemen paling minimal dari sebuah kalimat ya subjek dan predikat. Itu maksud dari kalimat ini. Okay. So every sentence has a subject and a predicate. That is minimum. That is at least. Okay, so a subject can be a noun or pronoun that is partnered with an action verb. Okay. Sebuah subjek itu dapat terdiri dari kata benda atau kata ganti yang dipartnerkan, yang dipasangkan dengan sebuah action verb. Ini salah satunya. Action verb itu apa ya? Ini ada penjelasannya di sini. Okay. Example, philanthropists donated millions to charity. Okay. Ini subjeknya, donated itu adalah predicate or verb functioning as predicate in this sentence. Ada yang bisa jelaskan kenapa donated, kenapa bukan donate? Jangan lupa untuk isi daftar hadir ya. Isi daftar hadir, Anda hadir nama siapa, semester berapa. Okay, who can explain why this is in this form donated? Turn on your microphone when you would like to speak, please. This the process of this lecture class is also recorded, and I'll upload the recording on the YouTube. So for you later on, you can open the video on the YouTube, okay, to watch again if you would like to see again the material and also explanation. I will share the link, the video, YouTube link to your group, and remember to subscribe. Let me show my video, my face. So don't forget to of course to watch again, to subscribe, or give comments, or you can also raise questions when you have a question in the YouTube. Okay. Now, before we move on, once again, who can explain why philanthropists donated millions to charity has got the predicate or the verb functioning as predicate in this form, donated, not donate? Can you explain? Any of you? Turn on your microphone, please, if you want to speak. Whatever. Don't worry if you cannot answer correctly. There is no correct, wrong, or right comments. All responses are appreciated. Okay. Siapa? Kenapa ini donated? Kenapa bukan donate? Microphone, please. Ulma? Okay, Sia? Kelendono?
Because it already happened in the past, sir.
Okay, because it happened in the past. That is why the predicate of the sentence is in past tense, simple past tense. Okay, you're right. Is it Monica or who answered? Monica or Ulma?
Ulma, sir.
Okay, please write your answer in the chat room, please. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. The action of this sentence is expressed by the verb donated. Oke, actionnya karena tadi di atas adalah disebut bahwa subjek ini dipasangkan dengan action verb, dan action verb itu sudah diberikan di kalimat ini yaitu donated. Karena itu penjelasannya, the action of this sentence is expressed by the verb donated action. The noun philanthropist is doing the action of donating. Oke, ini penting sekali karena ada juga kata predikat yang bukan action verb. Oke, kita mulai dari yang paling awal supaya karena ini subject structure 3 is the last for structure group. Untuk bicara tentang grammar, English grammar, this is the last. This is the last subject. There is no more other subjects after this. I mean, for structure groups, structure of English. Yeah. So we'll make sure that simple ones, simple material, simple sentences are discussed again. The noun, therefore, philanthropist is the subject of the sentence. Okay. Now, next, sometimes a verb will express being or existence. Jadi ternyata bukan action saja, tapi kadang-kadang verb itu mengekspresikan being or existence instead of action. For example, good friends are loyal people. Good friends are loyal people. The verb in this sentence are does not express action. Are ini bukan action, tapi dia predikat, dia verb dan berfungsi sebagai predikat di situ. Oke. Kalau orang tanya mana predikatnya? Mana predikatnya? Predikat dari sentence kalimat ini mana? Ada yang bisa jawab? If you are following. Ya, siapa yang jawab?
Are, sir.
Oh, are, okay. So the predicate of the sentence is are. Yang jawab tadi tulis ya di chatting. Bukan di chatting WA ya, di chatting ini. Di Zoom. Okay. Example, yeah. So the verb, example, good friends are loyal people. The verb in this sentence are does not express action. Okay, sama. Ya. Itu tadi kita sudah ini. So instead, it expresses being or existence. It tells us that something is alive, terjadi atau hidup atau ada. Ya, gitu. Ya, the noun friends is doing the existing or being. Therefore, friends is the subject of the sentence. Sometimes we use sentences in which a subject is not actually stated. Nah, ini lagi. Sometimes subjects are not stated, but it is, as subject, bukan subject. A subject is not stated, but it is nevertheless understood in the meaning. Subjek kadang-kadang pada konteks tertentu tidak perlu ditulis. Dan yang seperti itu disebut ya dipahami, dimengerti. Sudah dimengerti bahwa subjeknya itu. Okay, let us see the example. Example, call the plumber, please. Call the plumber, please. Okay. Can we see a subject? Can we see a subject in the sentence?
No, sir.
Yeah?
No, sir. No.
We cannot see a subject in the sentence.
Yes.
Okay. But there should be, it should be understood that there is a subject.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though we cannot see, or the subject is not stated, according to this sentence, this explanation, sometimes we use sentences in which a subject is not actually stated, but it is nevertheless understood in the meaning. In the meaning, we know there is a subject, but it is not stated. What is the subject of the sentence?
You.
Yeah,
Plumber.
plumber. What? Call the plumber, please. What is actually the subject of the sentence?
Plumber, sir.
No,
No,
plumber is,
no, plumber
is the object.
is a,
Don't have.
yes, plumber is the object. I
Yes.
thought the subject would be you, whereas the sentence show us to asking help.
Okay, asking help. Who is to whom do we ask help?
The other people, so we should be you.
It should be you. When we say call the plumber, please, can we say they or he call the plumber, please? Can we?
Yeah, yeah, it can. That can.
Hmm?
Yeah, bisa, Pak.
Apakah kita bilang, hey, mereka panggil tukang ini, tukang plumber ini, tukang yang perbaiki pipa ataupun rumah lah, atau seng, keran dan lain-lain.
Just understand.
Subjek yang cocok kalau kita bicara langsung memerintah seseorang itu atau banyak orang, kita pakai apa? Mereka atau dia atau apa? Hei dia,
So,
You.
panggil.
kamu.
Kamu.
Kita bilang
Kamu,
kamu,
Pak.
berarti subjeknya apa?
Kamu, you.
Ya,
Kamu, you.
you. Oke.
You, sir.
Yeah, it is in
You call.
in this explanation. A sentence like this gives an order or a request to someone. Ini kan ucapan langsung. Pasti kita bilang, hey you, call the plumber please. Bisa you itu singular atau bisa juga plural, bisa juga. So you is the doer of the action verb call. Sedangkan plumber itu kan objek yang dipanggil. Yeah. Therefore, you is the subject of the sentence. Because we use such statements when we are talking directly to someone, kita gunakan ini waktu kita bicara langsung kepada seseorang. Okay. We omit the word you. Kita hilangkan ini. Walaupun kadang-kadang orang bisa saja tetap menggunakan you dalam konteks tertentu. Dia bilang, kamu cepat. Tapi kadang-kadang cukup kita bilang, panggil plumber, panggil tukang dulu. Pahami bahwa yang disuruh itu adalah you. Okay. Yang lagi ngobrol, yang lagi bercerita, yang lagi ketawa, ikut kuliah ya. Dengan serius. Filipos Tamoes, you raise your hand. Do you want to ask a question? Filipos. You raised your hand in the application, Zoom application. Do you want to speak? Or ask a question or give comment? No?
No.
Okay. Who answered or who gave comment on the discussion about the subject? Remember to write your answer in the chat room, Zoom chat room. Okay. Once again, let's go to the explanation. Because we use such statements when we are talking directly to someone, we omit the word you. It is understood in the sentence. Sudah dipahami bahwa subjeknya itu pasti you. Waktu kita bicara langsung ke orang, ke seseorang atau banyak orang. Therefore, in statements like this one, we say the subject is you or understood. Subjeknya you, tapi sudah dipahami. Sudah dimengerti. Tidak harus disebut. This kind of sentence is an imperative sentence. Ya, kalimat perintah, or order, or imperative. Ya. A predicate is a verb that expresses the subject's action or state of being. Example, philanthropists once again donated millions to charity. Sometimes the predicate will be composed of 2 or 3 verbs that fit together. The main verb preceded by one or more auxiliary or helping verbs. Kalau yang ini tadi, example yang ini, ataupun yang ini, mana tadi? Yang kedua, friends are good, loyal people tadi. Ini, good friends are loyal people. Ya, teman baik itu adalah teman-teman yang orang-orang yang setia. Makanya disebut good friends. Nah, ini, sorry. Ya, kalimat seperti itu tadi memiliki subjek hanya satu saja, satu kata. Tapi kadang-kadang terdiri dari 2 or 3 verbs. Ini sesuai kalimat ini. The main verb is preceded by one or more auxiliary or helping verb. Diawali dengan kata kerja bantu, 1 atau 2 kata kerja bantu di depannya, didahului. Preceded, ini preceded by kata kerja pasif. Ini untuk kalimat pasif, preceded by, tidak precede by, tapi preceded by, didahului oleh atau diawali oleh 1 atau lebih auxiliary atau helping verb. Auxiliary itu bantu, kata kerja bantu. Seperti yang kita sudah pelajari, kata kerja bantu itu to be, salah satunya. Ada juga modals, will, may, must, dan lain-lain. Ada have, ada has, ada had, bisa. Atau to be, am, is, are, was, were. Itu semua auxiliary verbs. Kita lihat contoh. The first one, only one verb. This one, philanthropist donated. The second one has got 2 predicates, 2 words. Subject, philanthropist have donated. Ada lagi yang 3 kata, philanthropist will be donating. Okay. Important note, to be a predicate, a verb that ends in ing, yeah, this one. Let me do it like this. Must always have a helping verb with it. An ing verb without a helping verb cannot be a predicate in a sentence. Bisa dimengerti yang ini? Itu kalimat yang saya arsir, yang saya sorot. Untuk menjadi predikat, sebuah kata kerja yang berakhiran ing harus ada kata kerja bantu di depannya. Oke. Kalau tidak ada kata kerja bantu, maka kata kerja itu tidak bisa jadi predikat di kalimat itu. Oke. Atau tidak bisa ditulis tanpa kata kerja bantu, itu maksudnya. Misalnya ada yang bilang, I am come again. I'm come again. Ada yang tulis begitu. Atau I coming again. Mana di antara dua kalimat itu yang benar?
I coming again.
Ya,
I'm come again.
I'm come again. Ada saya lihat di grup kemarin, di grup mana itu? I'm come again. Terus ada I coming. Ini contoh dari penjelasan ini, itu ada di kalimat kedua. I coming again. Harus ada helping verb.
Auxiliary verb. Yes.
Harus ada auxiliary verb. Ini yang benar. Kalau ini dua salah. Ini wrong. Wrong. This is also wrong. This one is correct.
Correct.
Correct. Oke, itu contoh. A subject and a predicate may not always appear together or in the normal order. Normal order itu artinya apa? Urutan normal, urutan yang normal seperti biasanya. A subject and a predicate tidak selalu, may not itu bisa saja tidak. Bisa saja tidak selalu muncul bersamaan atau berurutan atau mengikuti urutan yang normal. Lihat saja contohnya. Okay. The dog on the hillside howled at the moon. Okay. Tadi penjelasannya, a subject and a predicate may not always appear together. Misalnya ini langsung ini. Subjek langsung diikuti oleh predicate. Philanthropists donated. Philanthropists have donated. Philanthropists will be donating. Ini berdekatan, berurutan. Oke, subjek predicate. Tapi yang ini, the dog, rupanya dibatasi, bisa juga disisipi kata keterangan tempat ini. Prepositional phrase di sini. The dog on the hillside howled on the moon. Okay. Prepositional phrase. And the next, the dog has often howled at the moon. Ternyata bisa disisipi adverb di tengah. Oke, itu maksud dari penjelasan kalimat tadi. Oh, in the question form or interrogative form, where this is put in front of the sentence, in front of the subject or before the subject, like will be like this. Has the dog howled at the moon lately? Okay. This is subject, but in fact, there is another verb, another word before the subject. Okay, if it is in the question form. Okay. Now let us see phrases compared to sentences or clauses. The phrase, clause, and then sentences. Okay. Now we start from clauses. Okay, let me stop the recording and record again.